we're sitting there, and then I was like, Mom, you know the Gillette Fusion? He's like, what? I was like, Fusion. He's like, Fusion? I was like, bro, don't make fun of me, you know, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then he's like, bro, Fooz, AK, Foozak. What do you think? I'm like, bro, that's sick. Let's run with it for this event we see. And it's stuck. Guys are saying Kenya is the hub for Afro House now in Africa.
Wow.
Like, you know, SA is big on Amapiano. There's some big events there. But we are at the forefront of Afro House right now. And three-step and these genres. And I want to give the Kenyan crowd their flowers here. We have the best crowd in the world. We have brought artists from all over the world and they say, your crowd is like nothing. They come ready. They're like, take us anywhere you want. In fact, we're here. You want to go left, right, wherever, we're there.
Every other time with Eric, another fantastic episode. You guys, we have a nice one planned out for you today. We have a legend in the building. The word legend is overused, but whenever you've done something for 18 years, consistently, that is legend status. We got Foozak in the building.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, bro?
You good?
First of all, man, thanks for making... You know, I always have to commend my guests who are easy.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me a hard time.
Yeah.
I reached out to this guy in the wee hours, so I have my best thinking in the wee hours. So I'll be up at night scrolling, thinking about plans for the pod, plans for life. I stumbled upon your TikTok. I'm like, this is Foozak. I'm like, I've been seeing this guy since I was a young, since my late teens, mid to late teens. And I see he's still doing his thing.
Yeah.
Legend in the DJ scene in Kenya. And of course, now international, bro. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man.
Thanks.
First of all, thanks for reaching out. I was actually about to jump on, I think it was Friday. No, Saturday. I'm even losing. This is what happens with DJs. You kind of just, every day becomes one. But yeah, when you reached out, I was like scrolling on TikTok as well, like, you know, just getting ready for the set. And I was like, man, I've been seeing these clips. And when you reached out, I was like, yeah, boom, give me your number. When? Fine, 2, let's go. I'm in.
And then he cracked a funny joke. He's like, oh, that would be 250.
Yeah, I was like, by the way, I charged 250. And I was like, I got him.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
I must say I've seen you since we were kids, man.
Yeah.
Since we were like 15, all the way from days of Halloween.
Yeah.
I remember you fiddling with the deck as young as what, 15?
Fiddling's a naughty word, bro.
Talk about your foray. First of all, talk about your upbringing, man. Where did you grow up? How was your upbringing? How's the family life? What's the background like?
I was, blessed to have a good upbringing. I was brought up in Nairobi. Went to school here, did my secondary school here.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school...
want to judge you.
I want to judge me. Please don't judge me.
Yeah.
I went to Banda in Hillcrest.
You went to Banda?
Yeah.
I went to Banda.
Yeah, sorry, the Banda.
What was Banda like in Karen?
Yeah, it was.
That's exclusive, bro. Put Banda on the screen for guys to know what we talk about.
I was trying to avoid going there, but I guess we're there now. First of all, it was an absolute nightmare to get to. There was no Southern Bypass back then. I remember getting on the bus at like 6 a.m. to get there for 8 a.m. I think I was a menace when I was a child, right? Like through kindergarten and everything. I remember the first day on the bus, on the way back actually. I had a great day, made friends. I was like, yeah, this is great, man. I'm at school. I'm a big guy now. I think I upset a younger kid who was in my year as well. And actually received my first slap on the bus. So that's my core memory from actually going to school.
Did you fight back?
No, I kind of just I remember grabbing my face like, okay, maybe I should keep my mouth shut now. I'm no longer in kindergarten. But I mean, it was interesting being like one of the few Indians there. Culturally, I was like, okay. Surrounded by, of course, a lot of KCs.
Morning, Foozak.
Actually, my name's Akash Patel, so they couldn't really say Akash properly, so everyone used to call me AK.
AK.
So morning, AK. How are we this morning?
Where did you traverse from this morning?
The other side.
But you said no bypass, so... And again, we're not doing this in any shape or form to pocket watch. This is a real show.
Of course.
It's your real story.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm here to be open.
I mean, you and Prince Charles, it's your uncle. So So where are you coming from? Where are you traversing from to get to Banda?
So we were staying on Jeremathenge. Back then was a still pretty leafy suburb. Right now it's a concrete jungle. But yeah, going back to those Banda days, like I remember like the first week they still had these like lion drills because there was no fence on the Nairobi National Park.
Lion drills. Talk about a lion drill, bro.
So they were like, yo,
that's gonna be a clip, by the way.
Yeah, like if you know if you hear this sound or whatever, like that means there's some sort of wildlife coming in. I mean, there were warthogs when we were playing cricket. Like we were basically part of the national park. And then that was very, very quickly fixed, I guess. And we had no more.
Aren't warthogs don't they chase people around?
Yeah, but these were quite like docile. They would come when we were playing cricket. I mean, I remember one of my cricket coaches when I used to play was like, you'll get 5 stars if you hit any of the warthogs. So all the kids would like be trying to like, hit it their way. But there was like a family of them that were, I guess residents of the Banda. Yeah.
Are you still a proud alumni? Like, do you ever like visit Banda?
I have not been back since I left.
It's been a while.
I've driven past it actually on the way to like Kunye and the shows at Masai Lodge. Yeah. I've driven past it and been like, this was, core memory.
and at home, how many are you guys? What number are you? How many kids?
At home, I'm the only child.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an only child.
Talk about that. How is it growing up an only child? Because there's a misconception. I was talking to my wife the other day and like, if we ever have a kid, let's just have one.
Yeah.
Let's just build our small tribe.
Yeah.
What's it like growing up? Did you feel like you wanted siblings or you were Gucci?
I think so. My parents like always made it clear to me, like my dad was like an extremely hard worker, and my parents like, my dad and mom made a decision that they're like, listen, we want to have one kid and try and give him the best we can afford. So
it was conscious.
Yeah, so it was a conscious decision. And I think growing up, like I live in a compound with 3 other houses. I used to play with the kids and stuff. And I think where maybe I started feeling it more as the older I got, like I didn't really have someone to talk to that was maybe understanding, what I was going through at the time and so on. But I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed like traveling to my mom's extended family and always getting spoiled as the only child from Africa. Yeah. They thought Africa was a country then, but like
it's not.
It's not exactly right. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. Like I was very fortunate that my parents showed me a lot of love and nurtured me and introduced me to music, to be honest, as well.
So in your experience, there's no disservice to a child by not giving them a sibling, because there's that school of thought. People are like, it's selfish.
Yeah,
have one kid. But I think, why not give one kid the best that you can?
Exactly, and I think I respect them for this. They looked at themselves and said, listen, if we can have 2 kids and this is the education and maybe this is the expenses I can afford. My dad at that time was alone in the family business. My grandfather had passed away. My dad was very young when he took over the business. So for him, he was like, this is what I can afford,
So if there was, God forbid, there was Amar Patel as a brother, you'd have been a Rusinga guy.
Yeah. I would, maybe
not a Banda guy.
Maybe even Oswald, bro. And then maybe I would not be Foozak. I'd be DJ Akash Patel and playing Bollywood. Who knows?
So you said they introduced you to music.
Yeah.
Talk about that. What do you mean by that?
So my like, I mean, a lot of my aunts and uncles would ask me, how did you get into music? And even friends and stuff. And I think growing up, like, my dad's brother also stays with us and my grandmother. And in his room, he had like a hi-fi system and like a massive stack of CDs as well. And like I was a very hyperactive baby, as I was told. I'm still hyperactive, by the way, guys. I can't.
But your good vibes, your energy. I mean, it's a very. I met you for the first time in 10 plus years.
Yeah.
But your energy is so positive. It's a nice thing. It's not a negative at all.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of character building as well, and things you've dealt with in life, but. Yeah, apparently when I was young, the only way I would sleep is if some sort of music was being played. So from a young age, I always had music around me. And then,
what are you listening to? What are you listening? What are they
I think, when I was a baby, I'm not really sure what they were playing, but coming on to what you just asked this is quite personal, actually. You guys are free to laugh at me. Exclusive. I used to like get on the MJ like Thriller album at the time, I think it was. And I used to grab like the back scratcher like shower thing, and used to like jump on the bed and act as if I was singing, and like always used to get like so riled up listening to that. And that kind of like, I found that every time I listened to music and I found a good track, it like gave me this dopamine hit, like I felt so good. And then I would just listen to that track for like 150 times. And I guess this was like the precursor for me becoming a DJ.
Because I was born.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really shit at singing. Like, I can never ever sing. I mean, I have a singing story that will make you guys
talk about your singing story.
So we were in Hillcrest, and I guess like how you have the houses, right?
So Banda then Hillcrest for primary.
Yeah, Banda for primary, Hillcrest for secondary.
So Banda till grade 7.
Grade 8. Grade 8. Yeah. So then when I was 14, went to Hillcrest. This was kind of where, like, now, of course, puberty's hitting. You're like trying to dress cool. Like, we had like Walkmans then. Like, everyone's like busting out their CDs.
Walkman was like,
yo,
extra set of nuts.
Extra set of nuts, And then they had those CDs like Now 51, Now 52 with all like the greatest hits. So I like year 9 and year 10 for me was like, I used to play a lot of sports in Banda, so I continued playing sports.
Was it cricket?
Yeah, I mean cricket, football, rugby, hockey, everything basically except swimming. I was so bad at swimming. What
do you like about rugby? I'm a victim of being a big guy all my life. So when I joined high school, believe it or not, I was very good in soccer and swimming and them. But now I joined high school and I joined a strong rugby school. I was in St. Mary's, and they tried to force me to play Rouge. And I don't like contact, man. Why are we hitting each other so hard?
I was put in the scrum, dog.
Why are we falling and getting grass burns?
Exactly.
I didn't like rugby at all.
I mean, rugby was okay in like prep school because it was like, okay, like I was quite tall and I was big then. And coming into like, Hillcrest and playing Rouge against St. Mary's and like, these other schools, I'm like, bro. I remember like our coach was like, guys, you have to be fearless, just dive in the tackle. I'm like, okay, today I'm not going to be a pussy. Today I'm going for that tackle I never go for. Today's my day. I went, dislocated my shoulder. I'm like, this is enough for me, man. Like
I find rugby is so unnecessary. Shout out to all the rugby fans who are watching. I have love and respect for you guys.
Yeah, man, Marcelo. I still watch rugby till today. And
so you're playing sports. You're still playing sports.
Yeah, I'm still playing sports, and this is another thing maybe people don't know. But in Hillcrest, one of the people in my year was Marcus from Camp Mula.
Put Marcus on the screen, man. From the legendary, I always say the most legendary group out of Kenya in the longest time. I went to school in SA.
Yeah.
People used to, the moment I'd say I was Kenyan, like, hey, Kamula. So put them up on the screen, man. Legends.
Yeah.
Man.
So what happened is, it was, I think, like I was 15 years old. A close friend of ours had a birthday house party, and we're all like kind of 15. We can't really go out, so. By 15, broadband had kind of started coming in. The internet was quicker. There was LimeWire now, so you could download tunes. CDs were kind of becoming obsolete. And so I started like downloading a lot of music because I had like Africa Online, like this.
Africa Online? That means a TBT. Put their logo on the screen. These guys, I used to see their logos everywhere, man.
Africa Online, let me tell you something, kickstarted my journey. Because I used to like wait at home and look at this like black thing with a big aerial and wait for it to like go blue. And I'm like, I got peak connectivity now. I go to LimeWire, I'm like searching, I'm like getting all the music. Those are the days also you're vibing girls on MSN, you're sending messages, you're like, things were moving. We're in the internet boom age, right?
Do you remember, what was it, Meek?
Meek, yeah, for the SA guys, yeah. I was also like trying to vibe some girls on Meek. I remember that. That was a good one. I forgot about that.
IC212 was my handle.
IC212.
I thought it was so cool at the time, man. Like,
I think mine must have just been AK. But yeah, so I had all this music. I was kind of like hustling music as well. Like, yo guys, I got packs and stuff. I was giving my close homies tunes, They would have them on their phones. And I was the guy for music, you know. Everyone was like, shit, man, this guy always has tunes. And back then I was listening to a lot of hip hop, like a lot. And that was like what we were all about. Now, I kind of stumbled onto like electro house. It wasn't EDM yet, but it was like these raw synthesizers. And I remember there's this artist called Class. And he was like churning out bangers. And I was like, man, this is mad. Like electronic music, wow, okay. So I started collecting that. Now my friend is like, bro, I have a party. It's a house party. You have music, DJ. I was like, bro, it doesn't work like that. Me, I'm a guy of single tunes, you know? Yeah. Like I can't just
and this time, are you at the, like you can create a nice playlist, or have you started playing with decks yet?
I haven't even like touched on decks. Okay. I haven't even like done playlists yet. Like I just have tunes. So I'm sitting there like, man, this party's in like 2 weeks, dog. Like, what am I gonna do, man? Like I can't just go up there and bomb. Like,
you're 15 now.
I'm 15 now, right? So I had 2 other friends, Max and Mark. And Max had like a little controller that would like, he told me about virtual DJ.
Hey.
Now virtual DJ, you know, like the sirens are there, everything. So
virtual DJ, man, what another team.
Bro, I've been in this game for long. And, you know, like virtual DJ, I got a shitty cracked version on my like Toshiba laptop, which was the size of a desktop that those days, you know, you need to like walk around with a power generator.
Those big ass laptops.
Thick, bro. Yeah. Like you can still enter a floppy disk, you know.
I remember those.
Yeah, so I remember like getting that and like trying to mess around and, you know, it like, okay, I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense. We get to like the day of the party, we go set up the sound. Like everyone descends on this house, our age, like from all the schools, like they all come.
We used to crash a lot of your
exactly.
A lot.
Yeah. It was for everyone.
That's why
house music is for everyone.
That's why that's when I first started seeing you.
Yeah.
UG.
Yeah.
UG that time I remember.
Yeah.
Young Stunner.
Yeah, Young Stunner, exactly. So, and you know, like we found, like me being the Indian person there, like light bulb moment, like this is a gap. This is a gap in the market. We're 15-year-olds, we can't go out, but people want to party.
Yeah.
So, and I have music.
Yeah.
Sasa, let's put all of this into moves. So I remember going to, at that time, there was a place called Ale House.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, and for our younger viewers who don't know what Ale House is, Ale House above Tree House, right? And we went there, and I remember, like, I'm like prepping myself up. Like when I get there, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to take no for an answer from this guy. I know we're young, but I just got to, you know, elevator pitch myself. So I went there with these 2 other guys, and they're just creative guys. They have no like concept of ticket sales or whatever. I'd done a bit of research. So I went to the guy and I was like, yo, listen, I can bring 200 people here on a Friday night or Saturday night. He's like, what? You know, we haven't been like, I'm like, don't worry about it. I got you. He's like, how old are you? I'm like, don't worry about it, bro. Just give me a chance. Back then, no one really cared.
Did you have spiky hair?
I had mad spiky hair. I had like, you know that, like, what is it called? The gel that's shiny.
Yeah,
right? Like you touch my hair, it's just bouncing back up. Like, I thought I was cool, right? I had the kind of scarf going on, like, you know, so I went, he's like, fine, done. This is the date. I can't remember the date. He's like, this is the date. So I went to my friends like, yo, we got the date. He's like, yeah, but what do we call it? So I was like, damn, what do we call it? And then we were like, of course, you don't have ChatGPT then, and you just have your mind, right? I was like, let's call it Triple Vision. People like...
That's a nice name.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, yeah, man, Triple Vision works. Let's run with it.
Why Triple Vision?
I think it's because how like guys were progressively getting higher through the night. You know, you have single, double, then triple vision.
I was trying to explain to my wife that the other day. I was telling her I used to get so drunk I'd have to squint.
Yeah.
Because now I'd be seeing you in like a silhouette of you, like there's Foozak and there's like another Foozak.
Yeah.
You can't watch a football game because like 100 guys on the pitch.
Exactly. So I mean, we had triple vision. Now I had another problem. I didn't have a DJ name. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, if I go as DJ Akash Patel, that's sending the wrong message out there, man. That's sending the wrong message. I ain't no Bollywood DJ.
Okay, Bhangra night.
Bhangra night, bro. I might get some of my uncles and aunties rocking out. So I remember I was at home And one of my homies had come over and we were about to go out. And like, you know, being a hairy Indian, I was already shaving at that age. So we were like
Shaving at 15, like, constantly.
Constantly,
Wow,
like,
wow.
you know. So I was like chatting to him and I was like, man, what should I call him? Like, he's like DJ AK. Everyone calls you AK. I'm like, nah, man. I need something cool, man. I need something edgy, man. So we're sitting there and then I was like, Mom, you know the Gillette Fusion? He's like, what? I was like, Fusion. He's like, Fusion? I was like, bro, don't make fun of me, you know, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then he's like, bro, Fooz, AK, Foozak.
Foozak.
What do you think? I'm like, bro, that's sick. Let's run with it for this event we see. And it's stuck since then.
And that's actually a sick name and it's stuck. Like,
It's stuck.
do people even refer to you as AK anymore? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
does apart from your family, like, does any of your outer circle ever, hey, Akash?
First of all, when I'm called Akash, I'm immediately like, have I done something wrong here?
Because the cops.
The cops have come. A lot of people I've met recently over the last, like, I'd say 10 years call me Foos. AK, a lot of people I went to school back then still call me AK. Shapa Man, who I've known for since back then, still calls me AK. Yeah. So from then, kind of, Foozak was born. We did the first event. And then when we did the first event, we had this community, right? We had this community of 15-year-olds now going on to like being 16. And I kind of found myself like at the middle of this like party juggernaut that was building around us. And we decided as a trio that we need more space now. So we're like, let's go to the loft, which was just like, there was the ballroom in the middle of that complex and then the loft. So we went there.
Legendary night.
Man, that's where we all started. We went there and we did a pajama party.
I remember.
Yeah, that's a pajama party.
I remember.
Yeah.
You did a couple, wasn't just one. I feel like
there were a few.
Yeah,
I think, then also 6 a.m. did pajama party as well. But that was when we kind of got onto the radar of 6 a.m. And that was when now also coming back to the Camp Mula stuff, they were also like, people were listening to this electro sound. And I remember Marcus saying that Party Don't Stop was actually inspired by some of the nights we threw. So that's how I wanted to kind of connect.
And Party Don't Stop is a Kenyan legendary anthem, man.
Man,
like,
it's so
it plays
huge.
today and you still feel the nostalgia and the...
In fact, I should do a remix.
You should.
I should update that sound.
You should.
Yeah, man.
But I'm curious about because you guys are young, okay, you're
Yeah.
pulling a crowd, you guys are curating a whole new scene.
Yeah.
What about the back end? What does the money, the finance, the are you guys being paid? What does it look like?
Yeah, so I mean, from a very young age, I was adamant that we control the ticket sales. Like,
How did you have that wherewithal at 15?
I
Business family?
I mean, I kind of looked at the model that was running then, which was the 6 a.m. model, and I kind of very quickly figured out that, okay, it looks simple. They collect ticket sales, there's a bar running, and with the ticket sales, you pay for your cost.
Who was behind 6 a.m.?
I think at that time it was Yasser, Drazen.
What happened to Drazen?
Drazen, I believe, is still around. The legend, shout out to the legend himself.
I used to see man every bash she was always there with a shirt open till here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I a lot of those guys like DJ K, Barney Barrow, Drazen, Ohms, who was one of the founders as well, Kuzi, like a lot of them were a big part of my journey in electronic music, because as we built this community, I think they also noticed that, hey, these guys are the next generation. So they kind of looked at us and said, we want to start involving you. And I remember my two partners at the time, Max and Mark, they were picked first to play Kikoi Culture, which was at Mamba Village that time. And I was like sitting there like, man, I can't wait for my time, man. When am I going to play? And then eventually they gave us, a shot, and we brought a lot of crowd.
So ticket sales gives you how much percent? Or you're taking the full ticket sales, they sell the bar?
Yeah. And it depends. Like if I'm in a club, then the club will keep the bar at that time, and then I'll keep the ticket sales. Because the justification is, listen, I'm bringing my people. I need to make something for it. I have costs. Like sometimes you have to rent extra lights, you have to rent decks, you have to rent like promotional guys for shooting.
15, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16, yeah.
And is there paperwork or it's all...
That was like cash money, man. Cash money.
Bubble.
Bro, there was no like ticket, like websites then. There was all physical tickets. So you had the print guy who was printing at the band and you had to stamp each ticket. Like that's where we started. And, like basically, hey guys, go to Monty's at Sarit. The tickets are available there. So people had to go physically to buy tickets.
Why I stand corrected, Foos. And I have this memory of a night at where the same place where Ale House and them was.
Yeah.
It was called Blue Times.
There was Blue Times, Treehouse, and The Loft.
Why do I have a memory of you stepping out of Blue Times with a bundle of cash? Like having just been paid and saying, let's go blow this. I genuinely
that could have been very possible. Let me go back in my memory. Yeah, that was me actually.
I remember that vividly. You were holding a stack of cash, and at the time, that stack of cash was not the kind of stacks of cash anyone at that age had. And I remember, let's go blow this. So
there was a casino there as well, but I was never good at the casino, so I think that ended.
So was the money? What are you doing with your cash apart from, like, of course, exciting nights where you go blow? What else are you doing with the money?
I mean, at that age, I really wanted, they were like the only guys who we knew had decks. Like I think that time was the CDJ 1000, were 6 a.m. So when I started like transitioning from a controller to a decks, because also even vinyl players, like there was hardly any in the country. When we started transitioning, I found that, hey, I need to practice here. I mean, Jason and guys were very kind to let us take them at home, set them up and practice. But my first few gigs, like when I was playing at like the early slot, 9 p.m., whatever, I would find myself just like trying to figure it out then. And there was no real tutorial videos then teaching myself how to beat match manually and so on. And like literally train wreck, we call it a train wreck when it's like or helicoptering, like when the beats don't match. And I was like, man, I want to save up and buy my own decks. And I never actually got to it at that point because I was like, I was spending a lot, yes, but at the same time I was like, trying to utilize my money in the shows. So a lot of it was going back in the shows as well, because one thing people don't realize, like, there are promoters who take money and don't reinvest in the brand. And one thing I learned very early on is you have to reinvest as much as possible. And the first few we did, we were like, yeah, we made some cash. But then we're like, man, we want to do merchandise now. Let's get some T-shirts, We want to like go into this space. Like we were actually one of the last events at the new pavement, when they just redone it before they got raided and stuff.
I have a picture of the raid here. I also have a picture, I think, saying hi to UG with you in the background. Yeah. In this era. Yeah. I'll send it to my producer to put it up.
Yeah. And, that's when I got introduced to Beat Factory and Tobias. And Tobias was another person who was very smart in seeing us grow and, called us to his place and was like, hey, guys, listen, I have all this equipment. Don't be afraid to scale, And you're like, yeah, great. This is great. Let's scale. Then you get a fat bill like this is the rental. So we started realizing that we need upfront cash. We need to maybe pay the venue a deposit because some venues were like, when we don't know you guys, we don't know if you're going to be successful. So a lot of my money back then went straight back into the events.
I'm gonna. Usually people take the end of the show to give people flowers, but I think it's important to give you flowers even at this point, because I just want to point out to my audience that this guy was 15, 16, 17, and he's talking about merchandising, reinvesting back into the company. Yeah. This is a time where such things were not the norm, Money was for blowing. People didn't really have the wherewithal, Us guys are just getting into match now as a podcast. So if you're 17, 16 right now, watching this, whatever craft you're doing, take it seriously. And remember, it can also end up being a viable career, case in point. And at this point, in your mind, are you realizing that you're slowly laying the foundation for what's going to be a formidable career for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the industry for 18 years. I've seen brands come and go. I've seen trends come and go. And I think this last couple of years with the teams we've kind of got together and the shows we're putting on, where we're slowly we're putting Kenya on the map as a premier destination for electronic music. And I think that's always been my dream. My dream has always been, from when I was playing at 6 a.m. on the beach, when I was in university, I would tell my friends who haven't been to Kenya, like, guys, there's this beach party. Like, they're like, what? This is Kenya? meeting other artists who we wouldn't have access to. Like, what? You have such a beautiful country.
Earth Dance, Sundance.
Yeah, Earth Dance. What is it? Beach. I've forgotten the name even.
Sex at the Beach.
Yeah, Sex at the Beach. That's a good cocktail. The ones at Indiani that they did at Alliance. So, yeah. So, like we were fortunate to play there. Throughout my 6am career, I formed a duo with Frankie B. So it was Foozak and Frankie B, which we played a lot of the shows together. A lot of people knew us under that moniker. And Frankie B was actually the one who really turbocharged me in this career, because he came with an engineering background. He really understood music. He had till today has one of the best ears in collecting tunes and digging. And we'd share music, and that kind of whole era of my life was when I thought, like, man, Kenya really deserves to be at the top of this. Like, how do we get it there? And after the 6am days, and from 2013, 2014, when I was back in Kenya, we really looked at how do we get there, and kind of set up, I would say, like a 10-year plan, on transforming Kenya into one of the best and premier destinations for electronic music. And this year I've had Da Capo on our KODA podcast, and even him speaking, he's like, guys are saying Kenya is the hub for Afro House now in Africa.
Wow.
Like, SA is big on Amapiano. There's some big events there, but we are at the forefront of Afro House right now, and three-step and these genres. And that is primarily because we have pushed, not only from our side, but there's so many more promoters who have come through and have been so explicit in saying that for us to go from being a collective to a scene, there has to be multiple people doing this. There can't just be one person throwing events, And what I've really enjoyed seeing over the last few years is so many new promoters coming through the ranks and throwing these events and bringing up DJs, and now slowly introducing that sound to their community. When that community gets hooked, they're going to tell 10 other people. They're going to take, and then all of a sudden you have 3,000 people at the show. So Kenya is transformed from being a collective of electronic house and beach parties to a full-blown destination for Afro House.
A proper scene.
Proper scene.
You said something very interesting. You said in uni. So
Yeah.
you're a graduate.
Yeah.
You went to university.
I went to university.
Talk about how those worlds collide, because you're 17 already on the scene.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're making money.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity. you're where does uni come in the picture? What do you end up studying?
So of course, my parents were trying to find any opportunity to stop me to DJ. They didn't really see this as a career path.
Okay. Is that a Kenyan thing? Because Kenyan and artistic expression has been.
I think it's also a Kenyan Asian thing as well, because they're like, my dad is grinded from day one, and he was like looking at this whole music thing. They were hoping like, this is just a phase. Yeah, it's a phase.
Get over there.
It's like a high school phase, and I found myself DJing all the way until I was 18 and becoming bigger and bigger, and then I applied to unis to do international business and finance, and got accepted to the University of Kent, where I went for 3 years. Graduated with a 2-1, so I actually learned something there.
Are you DJing there in the case?
So now where I was in Canterbury, there was no.
And I'm hoping you're gonna share with us pictures, bro. So
Yeah.
All over this.
I'll share with you. I'll share with you pictures for sure. When I was back then, and I had a friend called Ramin Reze, DJ R Squared, he was called back then. And there was this one place called the Cuban where we used to go for student nights. Now, of course, my parents were like, hey, this is your allowance, huh? We're not sending you any more money. And also, that thing of, Mom, I need to buy new textbooks. You can only push till so far.
My laptop is acting up.
Do you think money grows on cheese? You know the whole spiel, right? You've tried
and
everything.
you can cheap, man.
Hey, it wasn't cheap then. It's not cheap now. It will never be cheap. So I was like, man, I need to I need gigs, because I can make money from gigs. So I've took some time to study the kind of scene. The first semester I was there were all these uni parties. Electronic music still wasn't that big, but This was now the era where the Vichis were making, bootleg Swedish House Mafia was simmering. Like hands in the air moments, And I was like, man, of course, after like my sound went to that. I loved progressive house, and basically progressive house became that sort of progressive house, and then it became EDM. So I was in that kind of bracket where before it became mainstream and EDM, I would love that kind of music. So I would go to these student nights and started hearing DJs playing a bit of it. So I'm like, now's my time. So I went, and our squad he used to play. He was a hip hop guy. I'm like, bro, man, like built a relationship with him. And I was like, yo, what's your story and stuff? And he had like a setup at home. So we became really close friends. Like I used to just save up money for the bus when I was broke, get the bus into town, go to his place and just like stay on the couch and like, just chill with him. Then I was like, bro, we need to start a brand here.
How are you balancing this with the whole degree, bro? That's he's a pretty smart guy as well. Because to be able to balance the two, that's not a...
So I just made friends with all the pretty girls in class. This is a hack, guys. The pretty girls are the smart girls, and if you're on their side, they'll do your homework for you.
Oh, so you're getting girls to do your homework for you?
Like, not doing my homework, but when you're doing like seminars and stuff, I was like, oh, what happened today in the lecture? Could you sign me in, please? I've got a meeting in town. And I was like...
It's called street smarts, guys. Yeah, I keep telling guys, there's of course, in Kenya, they try push book smarts. I always say, balance it too.
You have to be street. You can balance it.
Bro, you can get away with money.
Yeah, man. So I became friends. Like, I was super social. Like, I was part of all these social clubs as well. And I found myself like, getting access to these people. And I was like, man, like I do my assignments on time. Like I would go to the library and do that. I never went to lectures. I just got them online. And then when it was seminars, which were compulsory, I get someone to sign me in, and then we do the work together or something like that,
But don't you think having that education as well taught you some implicit positive traits to have in life, even as you carry on in your music career?
So I was actually coming to that. Like, one of the greatest things my parents did for me was helping me get that education. It was such an amazing experience, of course, like being abroad for it, which I'm thankful every day, but learning about how a business is run, like fundamentally. Like, what are the structures involved? Like, what are the finances involved? What are the accounting principles involved? How important is marketing? How does globalization affect you? How to like adapt to trends, like all of these things. Yes, with the internet today you can get, and I do think education is changing, like the whole kind of university and physical university is changing. People can do courses online. But back then I used to hate it. I'm like, I just want to be a producer. But I got that degree, and let's say the music thing didn't work out. At least I have a piece of paper that I could, I had a fallback. I could, even if it's a shitty job, at least I can survive, right? And that's what my parents kept telling me back then. But I was so young and like so stubborn that I didn't see it like that. But I pushed myself to basically do the degree. My focus was to get the piece of paper for them. But I realized that piece of paper is more for me than anything. Yeah. And I think one of the like greatest pieces of advice I could give young people is, whether it's watching a podcast or doing a free course or whatever it is, build your skill set. Like, at any moment, anything can be taken away from you. Don't take it for granted. It doesn't mean you have to go to university, but if you have a certain skill, disappear for 3 months and become the best at that skill. Like that kind of thought process, I think, is very important for anyone, to be honest.
And I think also I chalk it up also to a generational thing, because we're almost the same age. And I think fundamentally understood, like the reason I have my day job, which I came from when I came here, is I kind of understood that it's like a fallback. I always say I love these passions in equal measure. I like media and I like my day job. But I always kind of understood, okay, since the day job structure is already there, let me do this, earn a steady income as I pivot into this. Yeah. But I think our generation, millennials, understood that in a more fundamental way. We took risk, but calculated risk. But I want to enter a kind of dark side because of the music scene. I know you mentioned, what's his name? Avicii, you mentioned, who's the guy who passed, famous guy? The guy who they rumored overdose, rumored suicide. Not Avicii, what's his name? European DJ. Is it Avicii?
It's Avicii.
Yeah, it's
Avicii,
Avicii, yes,
Avicii
yes.
was the suicide, yeah.
So you brought me to a whole other thing, and I know the advent of this scene as well
Yeah.
coincided with a very unique time in Kenya.
Yeah.
And this is when drugs, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word, I was trying to find a neat
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Drugs entered the foray because when we first started going out,
Yeah.
early teens, it
Yeah.
was more of alcohol,
Yeah.
maybe marijuana here
Yeah.
and there. And marijuana was still looked at like, whoa,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys are
yeah,
smoking
yeah.
weed, you guys are
Yeah.
crazy. But at some point, I remember with the advent of this scene as well,
Yeah.
in come the drugs. And of course, if you're at the forefront of curating a scene,
Yeah.
access as well comes with
Yeah.
that. So how do you navigate that, and what are some of the things you've witnessed in your 18 years with respect to this?
Wow, it's a really important question, and I mean we were very fortunate that from 6 a.m. days there was a zero tolerance on drugs and so on, and there was they did a campaign saying say no to drugs and so on, because you always have that fear as a promoter that someone overdoes it or someone takes something bad at your party, it could destroy the brand, and that's still the case now. And I think the conversations that we're all having as a collective and also with other promoters is that zero tolerance has to be enforced, because ultimately people who are being, yes, exposed to this new sound are also being exposed to access. And we have to be, responsible promoters from our side. And we have to, we're going down to the level of trainings for our security staff, additional medics, additional support staff, people in clear high-vis vests if you're visibly, and communication that, listen, we're here to help. There's only so much we can do. And of course, with, adhering to the kind of, I would say, processes that NACADA puts out and so on. Because ultimately, yes, it's revenue generating.
So NACADA involved, they're in the loop when it comes to such events?
No, it's just what they put out
Okay.
online and say
Okay.
listen, these are the things they're doing and so on. And us as promoters, we take that information in, and when they say it's zero tolerance and this is what should be done, we always follow those guidelines. I think there's a big gray area still around it. If you look at festivals in Europe, they have amnesty testing, for example, where you can go and test whatever you're taking, which I think is a massive step in the right direction.
It's more objective,
It's-
because
yeah.
people when you talk about things like certain kinds of music,
Yeah.
there's an argument to be made for it. Kind of goes hand in hand with
Yeah.
with certain substances.
Yeah.
It makes the experience, it embellishes the experience,
Yeah.
and that's a reality. It's not something people can necessarily wish away.
Yeah.
Do you think we ever get to that point where amnesty testing, or we're still far?
I think we're still far. I think where we need to focus on as promoters and as a collective in this scene is how can we ensure the safety of patrons, and there's a lot of clubs in Nairobi that I think are internally doing things that are helping. We're also doing our bit. Ultimately, it's the same thing. Drink responsibly. You have to be responsible. We're adults. We control the age that comes in. But yeah, I think Africa as a whole, if you look at it, it's the government, right? It's which way they want to take us in at the end of the day, and we need to adhere to those rules and regulations.
Do you think, and I'm sure I'll be crucified for even asking this, do you think the age of being allowed to drink and all should be 21? Have you ever thought about that? Because, bro, us guys are abusing young. Bro.
Yeah, man. I started drinking at a very young age. Back then, you'd go maybe with your parents. Your dad would be like, okay, you can have half a beer and so on. You're 14 years old, 15 years old, and that's how it is here. I personally think, and the journey that I'm on now, I recently embarked on a sober journey where I stopped drinking in September.
Why is that?
I found myself in a loop, I think is the best word. It's I play on Saturdays and Thursdays. And the thing is, let's say I drink on Thursday. We're getting older. I just find myself waking up Friday feeling rubbish.
You're now 34.
34, yeah. Anxiety, you're just feeling down. As a DJ, you have to do promotional stuff, like post online. That like feeds into it. Like, I don't want to be seen online right now. And then Saturday comes, you get home at 6 a.m. I'm recovering by Wednesday. I have a family business too also. That's a responsibility. And I just found myself like not spending enough time in the studio, not giving attention to brands, not giving attention to the teams, not giving attention to my personal life. I felt super unhealthy. You know, I was scared to even go to the doctors for a full blood count. So I said, you know what?
You, my friend, have 2 years.
Yeah. Your liver is kicking. It's knocking. No, and I was like, you know what? I had quite a crazy summer. I played in Turkey. I was in Ibiza. I was in London. And
Put those pictures on the screen right now, man.
Yeah. And, you know, it was like a very like crazy summer. And I was like, I just felt unwell and I felt low. And I was like, man, I want to get back in the gym. I want to stop drinking. You know, I want to do it for a month. And, you know, see how I feel. And immediately I did the first month. I noticed I was more present in my DJ sets. I could read the room. I was more like perceptive to the energy.
So the misconception that if you are curating a room of perhaps, let's call it a room where guys are having a partying, as the curator at the decks, the person curating the music, there's a common misconception as an outsider looking in that you also need to be like lit.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that it behooves you to be sober so that you can actually read the room better.
100%. Like I find my hearing is better. The thing is, like when I used to drink, it numbs you. It numbs you to your surroundings as well. It also numbs you to your thoughts. And of course, like I recently found out I had severe undiagnosed ADHD. And ADHD is basically looking for dopamine. And, you know, alcohol is dopamine as well. It's the easiest, fastest hit. You have all these voices as well. Like
it's also socially accepted.
It's socially accepted.
The environment you're operating in is like super socially accepted.
Yeah. And I just found myself like, you know, being like, I've had enough, you know, like a kind of light bulb has to go up and be like, you know what, just try it. And, you know, I kind of embarked on that journey. And as I was playing those DJ sets, I found myself like enjoying DJing again. I realized that, yes, I was excited to always play, but I was never really there. I was like tipsy because, again, you get nervous before every set. And again, having a couple of drinks helps ease the nerves. Yeah. But now, what is a couple of drinks? Your office is a bar. You know what I mean? You have access to any bottle you want and so on. So I was like, listen, if I want to be successful in my family business, in being a DJ and have a long time in this scene, because I'm 34 now, this might be an answer. And I'm very fortunate to have toured the world and become friends with quite a lot of high-profile DJs and started noticing a trend where a lot of the bigger DJs have gone sober. And asking my peers in the industry, they're like, oh, how'd you find? He's like, bro, it's the best decision. You wake up the next day, you have a full day ahead of you. You don't spend, 10 hours in bed. You wake up, you've lost a day. You're in a new country. You can do whatever you want.
You can savor the country.
You can savor the country. You basically are not a creature. You're alive. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. And when I got into October, it was my birthday in October. And my friends, like, who knew me as the biggest party guy and drinking, like, I didn't drink on my birthday. And they were like, my God, what's happened to you? I'm like, I'm having a good time. And I started realizing that it's become so normal to be like abusing alcohol and people think it's cool that when you go sober, there's a stigma. They're like, this guy, man, what is he talking about? You're a DJ.
Well, your days are numbered.
Your days are numbered.
Next week, you guys.
Yeah, it's true. And and also,
Kwani, you think you're better than us.
Yeah, exactly. That I've got that a lot as well. I'm like, no, it's not about that. I found myself becoming like happier. I found myself like becoming more active on social media. I started my TikTok account.
Which is why I put that TikTok up on the screen. In fact, that's how I reconnected with Foos, man. Like, to see you on TikTok being free in yourself also. And sober at that. You know, one thing I learned, because I was sharing my journey off camera and I was telling you, but I forgot parts of my personality because of drinking for so many years. Yeah. And after like 4.5 years, I took a small peek behind the curtain. Yeah. And bro, there's nothing you're missing there. I was quickly reminded, like, hey, wait. Sobriety is so much better. Yeah. 1,000 times more productive. Yeah. But did you also witness your peers falling by the wayside because of this same struggle?
I mean, I used to only go out if I'm drinking. Now I find myself, if there's a DJ I want to go in here, I'll go for an hour. I'll be home by 1 a.m. But I've still gone out, and I've
done your set.
I've done my set, or I've gone to I'm a raver before a DJ. I love going out. I found being sober to be so much more fun as well, because I'm like, I look at it, and when I see someone like drinking like 5 shots, I'm like, how is that guy going to feel in the morning vis-a-vis me?
And you're escaping the actual presence of what's happening around you.
Exactly.
And it takes for you to have that moment, it's a maturity thing also, and being real with yourself thing, because being high and up and about, but then half the things you forget. When you think about it, like, what was all that about?
Exactly. The sloppy decisions.
What's your most sloppy set that you ever had where you're like, oh my God, that was sloppy?
Oh, can I even remember? I mean, this is another thing, like the whole, like if people were to ask me of certain points in the 18 years, it's just like gray, because it was like a time where I was partying so much and I don't remember. But this is one thing I've always somehow, because I've been playing for so long, I've always somehow managed to get through a set and be like, wow, I'm through it, right? And I always used to think it gives me energy, it makes me a better DJ. But I look back at the clips now of me playing sober and playing when I was drinking, and I'm like, wow, this is embarrassing. Like, this is not what a DJ should be. And I think like being more in tune with it has allowed me to I think eventually I would love to, I mean, this is why I'm also here, is to share the story, but the music is enough. The music is enough to give you what you want.
That's deep. Yeah.
The music is enough. All you have to do is listen to yourself, have that AGM in a mirror and be like, you know what? Today, let me just go out and drink water, or let me have a Red Bull. But the music is enough. We have such amazing DJs here. I find myself going out a bit more sober than when I was, drunk and stuff, because I go out and I get to listen to DJs. I get more goosebumps.
Now you're also talent spotting.
Yeah, I'm present. This is the thing about being sober. You're present. You take every opportunity that comes now. You're sharper. You're maybe seeing things that other people are not seeing. It gives you a competitive edge. So, for anyone who's aspiring or in a difficult position, yes, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of internal strength. There's a lot of temptation. I mean, I'm in the scene, right? The first few weeks, the first month even was very tempting. But there's always these small victories. You go out once, you're like, that's a small victory.
Have you had to cut out? Have you had to cut some people off? Oh, no, maybe not cut them off. That's dramatic, but kind of create certain new boundaries around your life.
I think after COVID, my circle became very small. One of the things with ADHD is you tend to do a lot of people pleasing, right? So
that's something I'm actively struggling with.
Yeah, and I think it's it feeds into how Nairobi is. People will say nice things to you in your face and behind your back. They want to not give you your flowers and maybe hate on you. But I think, when I started looking at myself and being like, what's important to me? Who are the people that are important to me? And investing in those relationships. And started realizing that a lot of the people I was friends with, I was the one calling them. Now that I'm not calling them, they never called back.
And you're probably also playing a role of uplifting them.
Exactly.
I was, someone psychoanalyzed me the other day and was saying how, because I like to uplift people a lot.
Yeah.
But at some point I was like, is this because I want to be uplifted also and I don't get that? So you find yourself people pleasing and your cup runs dry because of feeling other people. And you have, the older I'm getting, I'm realizing you kind of have to be selfish.
You have to be
your
selfish.
Energy.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. You have to be selfish with your energy. And I remember when I was younger, I used to have plans with this group of people on Tuesdays, plans with this group on Wednesday, plans with this group on Thursday, this group on Friday. I can count 5 to 6 people who are close, near and dear to me, who I trust with my life. And, I maybe 3 of them I speak to every single day. And other than that, my life has been amazing. And of course, when I go out, I meet people and so on. I have a lot of friends, acquaintances and so on, which is amazing, and check up on them. But, I have really enjoyed that my kind of energy now has attracted these people, and this is my tribe now. So it's been quite easy, to be honest. And I think, COVID helped with that as well.
Yeah, man. So I've always wondered, man, substance, alcohol aside, you have a gig.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not in the best spirits,
Yeah.
or maybe in a very laissez-faire kind of neutral mood. But me, I want Fools to entertain the shit out of me, and we're 1,000 of us.
Yeah.
How do you manage that, or do you look at it as a job? Like, how do you?
So, I mean, on the day of the show, I have a very specific diet, like high protein, like, chicken breast, salad, wherever I am in the world. Because I've noticed over the years, if you eat a heavy meal, it drains you as well. You feel more tired. So I fix the diet side, which helps me stay neutral. But it's very interesting. As soon as you press play on that deck, like my mind and body goes into a zone. I can't even explain. Like I just arrive at this zone and I have one mission, which is just to destroy everything in front of me. And that has like if it's 2 hours before a set, I'm like antsy. I'm like, I can't wait to get on. I need to get on now.
Or like antsy excited.
Yeah,
not
excited.
Antsy nervous.
Nervous, but excited as well. And
That's a passion thing.
Yeah, it's a passion, and it's also like I try to challenge myself. I try to sound different to a lot of the DJs. A lot of the hit songs I wouldn't even have on my flash if it's overplayed. I'll challenge myself to find a record that I will play that you don't even know you like yet. That's my thought process. And by being like present in that room and digging for music every day, I mean, I spend maybe 2 hours a day looking for music, going through different music and trying to really find that sound. It allows me to now, okay, let me take you back. Being a raver, there's this one DJ called Eric Prida, who I went for a show. Now it's almost 10 years ago. He played a record that I never knew where it's from, but I heard the sound of that record. There was no Shazam. For like 7 years, that record has been unreleased. But I still remember that core memory. That was when I was like, I want to be a DJ like this, where I want to play that record. People are going to be like, what is this?
But it's stored as an emotional memory.
Yeah, because you create that core memory to it. So for me, like that's always been my thing. So when I go and I step up, even if I'm tired and I've had a shit day, like I leave that baggage just before I get on the stage, and I'm able to separate separate from what Akash Patel is and transition into Foozak, Transformer.
Yeah.
And that's always helped me like play to crowds and stuff. And the other thing is like, and I want to give the Kenyan crowd their flowers here. We have the best crowd in the world. We have brought artists from all over the world and they say, your crowd is like nothing. They come ready. They're like, take us anywhere you want. In fact, we're here. You want to go left, right, wherever, we're there. So that has allowed us to be so open with our sound. And that has allowed me as an artist and as a selector to come up and stand in front of thousands of people at home and be like, wow, every time I play for you guys, it's different, And that has helped shaped us as Kenyan DJs. So when we go abroad, we carry that energy.
Okay.
It's
allowed you to be explorative.
Yeah. And it's, and like, I've heard this from so many people when I play abroad. They're like, man, you really seem like you're enjoying yourself. I'm like, this is how we play. This is how, like, me, there's 50 of me back home, man, you haven't heard, who are huge, And a lot of the DJs coming out of Kenya, and as long as we produce more and more music that is palatable to the international audience, we're going to be a formidable force because we're so unique in the way we play and the crowd we play to.
I find it so G that you've actually played internationally. Which countries have you played in, bro?
I've played in Africa. I've played in Lagos, played in UG, played in Zanzibar. I've played in Ibiza, Spain. I've played in
Ibiza.
I've played in Tokyo, Japan.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
What is a Tokyo crowd like?
Tokyo is what they were in shock, bro. They were like, I came like rooted like Afro and some Kenyan records, and people couldn't believe it. It was at one of my bucket list clubs called Womb. That was like one of my favorite cities in the world. But yeah, I played in Thailand. I've played in New York. I've played in Denmark.
You have a picture for all these.
Yeah.
I want to put a collage.
Yeah. I'll send you all of that. But Yeah, I've been very fortunate for my music to take me around the world and be a perpetual tourist.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now there's another side. It's not as dark, but I mean, I know of Kamala telling me you have a partner now, so
Yeah.
you're probably in a relationship. But the celebrity side, bro. Celebrity also comes with access. And access is not just the substance side, bro.
Yeah.
It's excess.
Yeah.
Excess for men is women.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that, bro?
I think it's
I just have one harem right now.
It's really nice to receive flowers and people tell you, I'm always like super polite and stuff. And my partner loves to go out as well. So she's been coming to me at shows, and I think people have also seen that I have a partner, and they've been very respectful on that. But I'm also there to do a job, and it's to play music. So I think as I've matured, I've also realized that, I have something good going for me now, and, I have someone who believes in me. And I think it's all superficial in front of that. Like, these people will remember you today and maybe not tomorrow. So I think like valuing what you want in life and what you want as kind of a relationship are very important. And right now, my focus is just to become a better artist, a better producer. Not being able to be in the studio over the last, let's say 10 years I've lost a bit of time, and we're not getting younger. So I'm really focused on putting as many records out as possible. I recently just had a release with Emmanuel Jal called Kasabap. That's been doing quite well on the charts. I've been playing it a lot throughout the year. That's a 3-track EP. And then I also have a remix of Big Nyags, who's another good friend of mine, Akuna Kulala. Yeah. So yeah, I've done a remix of that. That's coming out in December. And then I have my last record in December that's with Kuzo, who's an up-and-coming duo currently. So I've been I found solitude in the studio and collaborations and so on, and really focusing on getting my art to where I want it. Yeah.
So far with your different phases of life, from your teens to now, what I'm seeing is a seasonally grounded guy. For a teenager at the time, the kind of wherewithal you had, you seemed pretty grounded, and you've navigated this scene. But at the core of this grounding, because people are grounded by different things, some people it's God, meditation. It's what's that core for you?
It's waking up every day and thanking the higher power that I'm been able to wake up. And I actually just take 10, 15 minutes every day in walking barefoot in the grass, in the dew, feel more connected, more grounded, and just set intentions for the day and try and get through as much as possible. It's not easy scheduling between the work of family business and this and that, but
is that an 8 to 5 or what is that?
I'm fortunate enough I go from 8 to 2, and then I normally head to either the studio or a site setup or meetings with the different stakeholders we have. But yeah, it's taught me a lot that there's so much you want to achieve, but you have to have self-care. So doing as much self-care as possible. I find myself the older I'm getting, my muscle seize up when I play longer sets. So I have a dedicated reflexology every weekend. I'm in the gym as much as possible to try and...
You look fit, man.
I'm trying, man. I've tried to lose a bunch of weight. It's fixing my diet. All these little changes have helped me ground myself even more. But at the end of the day, you got to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself how bad you want it. Because it's only you, it's your... I
was going to give it to you, man. That's one of the biggest realities of an adult.
Yeah.
When you realize that all these things you want, it's for you to go get.
Exactly.
There's always something hey, you want to be the most successful?
You're your own enemy at the end of the day. Whatever you say you can't do, you can't do. But if you get through that barrier and say, listen, this is where I want to go. This is my plan. This is the strategy. Let's implement. It's not easy as said, but if you do it enough times and you believe in yourself and you have self-love and you really believe you can go somewhere, you can do it. I never thought in a million years people would even recognize my TikTok, but I was like, you know what? I'm just doing this.
And how fast was that?
Yeah.
It was fast.
It's crazy, yeah. There's more to come. We made a big step as well last year. We opened KODA, which is...
Talk about KODA.
Yeah, KODA is... We wanted... I mean, we've been DJs who've been playing for other institutions, and myself and the partners, Dylan and UG, we were like sitting down and saying, listen, we need to find a home for electronic music, and preferably more than one room. So KODA was born, and through KODA we've seen so much more. I mean, we've seen new artists come through, new talents. They now have a safe space to play. We've managed to bring artists down. We have, in my opinion, one of the best sound systems in Kenya. And, it's kind of growing into its own. It's not been easy over the year. We've had challenges. We've made mistakes, expensive mistakes. But, it's finally like for the brand value and kind of where it's going, we're really proud of everyone in the team behind it. Yeah, we've really, really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that place.
Very well said. I always say we all have inspirations. My biggest inspiration in this whole thing is Joe Rogan, man. Like, I've been a fan from day zero.
Yeah.
And in your sphere, who are some of your inspirations?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, like, Emmanuel Jal has to be one of my top inspirations. I mean, his story is just phenomenal.
Put him on the screen right now.
Yeah, he's he's had a very rough childhood, to being in refugee camps, to becoming a motivational speaker, to the team teaching him how to play music, and now is one of the biggest touring DJs. And I think he's a true testament that no matter what walk of life you're at or where you're from, you can really make something out of it. So and working on this record, Kasabap, with him has taught me a lot, because he just comes with so much good energy and so much positivity. And I think that's really rubbed off on me, because sometimes you get stuck in a box, okay, this is me. But you're like, man, this guy came from here and now he's here. There's no excuses. You got to push more. So I think looking at him, and also my other peers, some of my biggest inspirations are, Suraj, UG, the Gondwana crew, Dylan S as well. Hats off to them. We've gone through a lot together.
Shout out UG. UG is a friend of the show. Is actually a personal friend of mine.
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah. So, having peers like that have been very, very,
You guys hold each other up.
Yeah, we hold each other up, and we kind of we learn from each other. We all have different experiences, and I think having that good core kind of management structure, as well as having friends like that in the scene who push each other as well, and now we're making records with each other, it's just a beautiful experience.
Now, in the final part of the segment, by the way, so far this has been riveting, man. You're a natural at this. I think you should do more podcasts. Eventually start a pod. I would highly recommend. You can host a show for sure. But in this last segment, I want to do a kind of rapid fire. So to try and get you
Let's go.
To answer a few
I'm
things.
warm now.
Okay, so first of all, favorite country?
Japan.
Why?
It's just the perfect balance of chaos and food. I'm a big foodie. I love food. I have, when I visit a new country, I have my list where I'm going to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I'm always open to trying new food. And Japan just was it for me, man. Everything was systematic, but you open this door to a club, it's pure chaos. It was just this beautiful mix of amazing culture, futurism, and they have the biggest concentration of high fidelity sound systems in Tokyo in the world, or something crazy like that. So for me, that's for sure my favorite country.
Favorite movie and why?
Oh, Interstellar.
That's my favorite movie.
No way.
Fuck, bro. I've said it on several podcasts, man. I'll give a funny story. So I was once in a not so high-end rehab.
Yeah.
And what used to happen was, sorry to hijack the story, but we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So I like to share this story. We used to be allowed to get DVDs on Fridays to watch. So, of course, there had to be consensus about what we are watching. So we'd have to agree. And I pleaded with guys, let's get Interstellar. Yeah. And so we get Interstellar and start watching it. And everyone was just disappearing. Every 5 minutes, guys were just walking away until I was left alone because... it's too complex for if you're not keen to the bigger story.
Exactly.
But the encapsulation of emotion,
the
science,
the
acting, the story.
Yeah.
What did it for you there?
I think, definitely the acting, the storyline,
Is he the best actor, Matthew?
I think so. I think so, in the right role. Like, and I mean, I've watched some of his
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, Dallas Buyers Club as well. Lincoln Lawyer. Like, he's got some good hits. Even he's got that funny side on Fool's Gold. You know,
Yes.
like, so he's
cameo in Wolf of Wall Street.
exactly hilarious. But for me, it also boils down to Hans Zimmer on the score. Oh my God.
I've used if you can use this score in this
I
section
just got
right now,
goosebumps.
just until they copyright, just before they copyright it.
Yeah.
I've used this for. I once took a video of a takeoff I was doing at night, and I captured like the airport
Yeah.
from airborne, and I put the Hans Zimmer
Yeah.
score on the post.
Yeah.
Bro, I've never gotten likes like that. It touches your soul, bro.
It like Hans Zimmer, everything this guy touches. I mean, the Dune score, like the way he created the person walking on the sand, like his creativity in music is something I aspire to be. I'm also like, one of my top bucket list things is to go and watch him live in full orchestra. So he basically reenacts all his soundtracks with a full orchestra, and he conducts it. And for me, like, he brought the story home. Like, it was already great.
In fact, you said goosebumps. I've just thought about it, and I've oh my God, yeah. That was a big part of why.
Huge.
You're
People
right.
don't realize
You're
how
right.
big scoring a movie is
You're right.
to the final thing. If you watch that without any sound, it's a totally different movie.
Yeah.
So Hans Zimmer for me brought it home, and that's why it's one of my favorite movies.
What's your take on, of course, Donald Trump? What are your takes? What do you think of the guy?
So my partner is American. She's gonna love this. So I was actually like quite hopeful when he got into power and he got Elon Musk on board, and I was like, you know what?
Doge.
Yeah, I was like, Doge gang, man.
Epstein files.
I was like, bro, forget it. You know, like this guy's onto something. She's like, no, how dare you? This, like, and this. I'm like, listen, man, give him a shot, because, like, okay, coming from an international business mindset, I was like, look, he's a businessman, you know, he's saying a lot of the right things. But of course, politicians are politicians. Betrayed.
Double kill.
Yeah, and you know, like, all the stuff that's happening in America, like, you know, it's not looking good. It's looking good. Like, I mean, it's, if you actually talk to like people on the ground, and you know, some of our family members who live, you know, I think outside in Utah, it's rough, you know, and you know, the stuff with the ice stuff, you know, like it's really, really tough, and my thoughts go out to everyone there. But you know, I really thought that maybe there could be something, and you know,
He sold it, bro.
He sold it. I was sold on it too.
Bro, the same guy is telling us Epstein files are hoax.
Yeah.
He ran on Epstein. He ran on releasing the Epstein files. Yeah, like, but it teaches you about politicians, man.
Yeah.
I remember I was once driving home from the airport, and I just had a moment when this whole now Epstein saga with Trump had started happening, where he said denying Kash Patel changed his stance. And I remember just
My cousin,
I
Kash Patel.
I remember thinking, this guy, America was rooted as well. Like, the same shit that happened here happened to them. And I want to bring it home. Because we're Kenyans, bro. And off camera, we were talking about just how great we are as a people.
Yeah.
I think what you've been able to achieve from this region as a Kenyan is remarkable, and it speaks to the Kenyan ability to dream.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how things are? When I say how things are, I'm talking about from a governance perspective. And do you feel like we live below our potential because of the structures above us?
Yeah, I mean, we see this across the board. I mean, in my family business, which is more on the electrical side, like, if we go back to like even Kibaki's time, a good portion of Uhuru Kenyatta's time, there was circulation of money. You know, there was like, you know, the government was putting out tenders that could actively be fought for, and you know, that way, like, if a contractor wins a job, then you get the job, and then you are also hiring people. There was that circulation of money. There was that cash flow. Over the years, there's been less of that. You know, there's just maybe cash just funneling around.
Kabbalah.
Yeah. And we've noticed that the private sector, because of that, is not as robust as it was before. And the thing is, like, you know, when like payments get delayed and you have bank commitments and you have this, like, the kind of outlook for us as a business is, man, people say the economy is growing, but I can barely pay salaries at the end of the month. Like, you know, there's so many people defaulting on loans and so on. And I just think that, if the government can do something to circulate more money, like, at least like get more, SMEs involved, get more medium-sized businesses involved, we can be a great nation. We can have this economic growth that can really support everyone. So I'm really hoping that, we can fix that and get into that era where we can achieve our full potential.
Well said. And but unfortunately, elections are coming up, and that's when they even mop up more money. So tighten your belts, guys.
Yeah.
So as we close, I want you to talk about what you're working on, what's coming up, and then I'd just like you to give my audience a parting shot from this amazing episode you've given us. Okay. So what are you working on? And all throughout the episode, I hope you've been put up your social media, TikTok, Instagram, all of the stuff, all throughout. Yeah. What are you working on? What can we expect in December?
Hey, I think it's that South African term, Kadizeba. Again, tying it into the kind of economics of it, we've seen some funny tweets as well. There's so many events, right? Like, people are like, how do I go to this event and that event? And I think me and the team, like, we have Descendants, which is a New York brand, coming this weekend. It's actually at a warehouse on Mombasa Road. So a brand that I run with Dylan and Yuji from Gondwana it's based around spaces. So we've done really cool spaces. We did a street party earlier this year. Now we're in a warehouse. And I'm looking forward to that experience because I feel like a lot of events happen at the same venue. Your railways, like this and this. So this one's going to be a proper warehouse kind of, feel to it. We got a really good lineup. Danke Boy, Thaxin, Studio Bros, amongst a stellar local lineup. So that's this weekend on the 29th. At KODA, we have Sondela coming up, which I believe is on the 12th of December. Sondela I've released on as well. It's a UK-based Afro label. That's going to be super cool and fun. And then we head to the coast. And 28th, we have Salty's Kite Village in Kilifi. And this is the first year we'll be going to the coast. So Complex is hosting a New Year's Eve at Lost Beach in Malindi. So we're really excited for that. It's going to be 2 days, 2 days of events. There's a pre-party of Gondwana, and then we're doing the 31st. And then on the 1st of Jan, my phone switches off.
Because it's going to be a heavy month.
Yeah, it's a heavy month. In between that, I'm touring. I'm going to India next Monday, and then I come back, and then the whole swing comes into place. So yeah, amongst the releases I mentioned, we have some cool events coming up. And we're really excited about it.
Sounds really exciting, man. That sounds like a December to look out for.
Yeah.
Guys, please tune in, check in, buy tickets, support.
Yeah. Save that money. Save that last paycheck. Save it for us.
For quality events.
For quality events. Yeah. Security, everything. We got you.
Now, in party, I'd like to just shout out to to my audience who, a lot of them are aspiring to do what you do, or just aspiring to be successful and be great. Yeah. And most importantly, global appeal. Yeah. That's the most inspiring thing about your story.
Yeah.
You've transcended our borders, which to me is one of the most amazing things someone can do. So nice word of encouragement.
I think don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Whether it comes from your parents, whether it comes from your closest, just focus on your art. Focus on your skill. Focus on what you're good at. Ultimately, that's where you will get your passion. That's where you'll get your joy. And trust me, that's when the monetary stuff will also come. It might take a short time, it might take a long time, but really build on your skills. Have fun with it. We only have one life, one shot, so don't waste it on other things. And, ultimately, they might say no now, but there'll be the same people coming and say, wow, you're doing so amazing. So keep that in mind. Keep the fire burning. And, if there's anything I can help with, or Eric, reach out to me, DM me. I'm more than happy to share some words of encouragement or anything I've gone through that can help. Thank you, Eric.
Ladies and gentlemen, Akash Patel, Foozak, what a legend, 18 years and counting in the game, man. Your career is stellar. Thank you so much for making time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making it so easy, bro.
No, man. Thank you for having me.
I reached out, you came through.
Thanks for the DM, man.
You gave us a banger, man, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm inspired, man. I actually feel inspired by what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you so much.
And kudos on the sobriety journey, man. I'll take it from me, bro. It's well worth it.
We're not missing out on anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the world is just so much more beautiful.
If you haven't subscribed, but you've reached this part of the show, and you haven't
What
subscribed.
are you doing?
Like you're hating. That's it.
That's hating.
That's it.
That's
Click the
hating.
subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tell a friend to tell a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, amazing episode. Every time with Eric. It's a banger. And
Boom. Back.
thank you so much.
Thanks, bro.
Very well done.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Very well done. Yeah.
It was fun.